And welcome. Welcome. It is Wednesday and just about 12 o'clock noon here on the East Coast. And I am grateful to be back with you. Today, I'm grateful to serve. I'm grateful for my wonderful life. And I want to welcome you. We are doing a special session over the next half hour. And I am joined here by an incredible group of individuals. It's always a delight to be back and to be serving you. I am live on 3 platforms at this particular moment. I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And so all of our friends from all 3 platforms, welcome. I also am joined here with Roddy Telfer, who is part of our wonderful team here, very significant part of our wonderful team. And Roddy is going to be literally running from platform to platform, grabbing any questions that you may have. And I will address any questions a little bit later. We're first going to talk about a very important subject. I also want to let you know that we have Annie Harvey, who is here with us, and Annie is part of our team as well. We're very blessed to have her, and she'll be with us. And I believe Laddie is also with us. Yes, there she is. I see her already on Facebook. And Vitaly, I see that you're here too. And I received your question just prior to starting today. And I will definitely address your question a little bit later on in our time here together. So today we are talking about dissatisfaction. Thank you very much. Dissatisfaction. Has anyone or is anyone experiencing dissatisfaction in their life right now? Let me know. Write it down. Are you experiencing dissatisfaction in your life right now? And if so, in what area are you experiencing dissatisfaction? Let me put my glasses on so I can see a whole lot better. All right, great. I do. All right. All right, good. And are you experiencing dissatisfaction in your life in one area of your life or in more than one area of your life? Answer the question, please. If you don't mind, put it in the chat box. Are you experiencing dissatisfaction in one area or more than one area in your life? I would like to know. All right, great. All right. So yes, okay, we're getting some answers here, multiple. Okay. All right, good. One area. All right. In business. Okay, good stuff. Finances, health. Okay, relationship. I'm seeing that as well here. Okay, good. Well, I can help you turn that around. I can't get no satisfaction. There's a Rolling Stone fan right there. Okay, so dissatisfaction. Here's something that I want you to understand. And what you may want to do, and this is absolutely a recommendation, like I look at these sessions as a learning opportunity. For me, it's a sharing opportunity, but for you, a learning opportunity. And one of the best ways to really sort of receive the information is to take notes. So have a pen, paper, and get ready to take notes. And here's a quote that I heard many years ago, and I believe it's something that you may or may not understand, but I'm going to explain it. And the quote goes like this. Dissatisfaction, it's only 3 words, by the way. Dissatisfaction stimulates growth. Dissatisfaction stimulates growth. But what I will say about that is not for all. Why? Because there's a process, and the process involves when you reach a point in your life where you are dissatisfied, where there's something in your life that you are no longer satisfied with. When you reach that point, what I suggest is that you do is get excited about it. Yes, get excited about it. Why? Because it provides to you awareness of where the challenge is, where your dissatisfaction lies, and it gives you the opportunity to do something about it. All right, great. Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Vladdy. I appreciate you writing that out there. So in your life, when you get to this point of dissatisfaction, you have a choice. You have a choice how you're going to respond to that experience. And the truth is, you are at choice always in all ways. So whether you choose to do something about it or not is really up to you. Now, if the dissatisfaction is strong enough, In other words, you're experiencing discomfort, or it could be potentially leading you to some kind of devastation, then that's typically when people choose to do something about it. It's like the truth of this statement: the pain of not doing anything is greater than the pain of doing something. Now, there's no pain in doing something, by the way. What I want you to know and understand, and really honestly, sincerely believe, is that growth, you focusing on making positive changes in your life, can be completely exhilarating and absolutely a huge amount of fun. And that's a choice as well. But what happens for a lot of people is when they get into this dissatisfied state, it's an emotional response. It's an emotional response to the way that you're thinking and the way that you're feeling. And it may be justified. And what happens for some people is they get to this point, whether it's their finances or relationship or health or whatever, they get to that place of dissatisfaction, and then they claim all the reasons why they're dissatisfied. And that's the justification. Now, does that serve you in any way? Absolutely not. For example, I know within the last couple of years, as the world was going through this pandemic situation, that a lot of people were impacted in their careers and in their lives. And as a result, some people chose to rise above those challenges. They chose to do something about those challenges, whereas others just found themselves in a dissatisfied state and just justified themselves from being there because of all the reasons that they feel they can justify what went on in their life. Understandable. I'm not saying those things didn't happen. I'm not saying that the pandemic hasn't impacted people in interesting ways, but whether it's good or bad, you get to decide. And in every situation, in every adversity, there is a seed of greatness and there are blessings. And when you choose to look at the blessings, you will absolutely find them. So you can use the dissatisfaction as a springboard to take you to another place. Now, what's the other place? The other place is the place of fulfillment, the place of joy, the place of gratitude. You see, if you're dissatisfied, that typically means there is a level of unhappiness within you. Happiness is an emotional state, just like dissatisfaction, and you're the one that's in control of that. If you imagine that there is a dimmer switch on the wall, that if I walk over to the wall and I push that switch up to the top, it's going to illuminate this room and make it very, very bright. But if I did the opposite and took that dimmer switch and moved it down to the bottom, it shuts off the light. It makes it dark. Now, I want you to think about emotions, negative emotions being on the bottom of the switch and positive emotions being on the top of the switch. So when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling excited or inspired, you've got a great goal you're working toward, you're feeling as if it's already there, your switch is on high. But when you start thinking about, oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm ever going to do that, and I don't have that, and all kinds of other negative thoughts, you bring yourself right down. And that's where you land at this place called disillusionment, right? Or dissatisfaction. But the truth is, you can rise up the scale. You can rise up your emotional levels by choice. When you understand the power resides within you, there's no one else that's pushing your switches or rising your switches up or pushing them down. There are not outside conditions that are impacting your emotions. You're in control of your emotions. So there could be, like, as the expression goes, all hell breaking loose around you, and you could be sitting in a state of bliss. As I'm saying that, I think about the book by Viktor Frankl called Man's Search for Meaning. And this was a book that was written many years ago. And this individual found himself in a German concentration camp as a prisoner. And as a prisoner, what he chose to do was not allow these people that put him in there to impact what he was thinking, what he was feeling. And so he would, in his own consciousness, go to a place that caused him to feel better. You see, he was in this prison with many other prisoners, But many of them were not doing that. Many of them were focusing on doom and gloom. And not only did he survive it, but once he got out of there, his experience, because he took a very challenging experience and created something extremely positive that he shared with the world. And here we are today, which has been many decades later, where people are still talking about what his experience was, how he turned it around, and how he chose to have that be a different kind of experience than what many other people are having. Same thing occurs when the world is going through shifts or different things that are occurring. Now, Neville Goddard, from his great teachings, suggests that you deny the evidence of the senses. Now, let's just sort of dissect that for a moment. What does that really mean? Deny the evidence of the senses. Deny. So he's not saying ignore what's going on in your life. He did not say, just forget about your debt or don't worry about your finances. That's not what he's saying. Deny the evidence of the senses. So what happens is, for a lot of people, is they continue to look at their current results, what's going on in their life, the things that they don't want, the things that they're not happy about. They continue to look at these negative results and they reside in the energy of those results. For example, if you're dissatisfied with your current financial situation, do you know that you can do something about that? Now, you may not know what to do about it, but you absolutely can. And the place to start is by making a decision that you are going to do something about it. And then you decide what the end result would be. Like, what would you love? What would you love to create in your life? So when we're talking about denying the evidence of the senses, what is being suggested is go to a place in your imagination, in your mind, and in your heart that is a much better feel-good place. And you do that by answering the question, what would I really love? Like, how do I really want to be living my life? Or if at the present time, your relationships aren't the way you want them to be, or your finances aren't the way you want them to be, and you desire them to be different, how would you like them to be? How would you love for your relationship to be? What would you like your finances to be like? How would you like your health to be? How would you like to be feeling? You see, it's simple, right? Simple questions, but a lot of people don't even think about it. They just even dismiss that question. They don't even get to an answer part. Why? Because their beliefs are so firmly impressed within them. They're so all consumed in their dissatisfaction, they don't open the door to possibilities. I want you to open your mind to possibilities. In Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he says that a mind needs to be open for growth. You have to have an open mind. It's essential for growth. It's essential for success. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. What it really means is that you, every one of you, have an opportunity to be living your life differently from the way that you're living it now. You have an opportunity to live a truly satisfied life. And in order to live a satisfied life, you first must decide. Now, I'm going to ask everyone that's on this call right now with me here, can you or will you, are you willing to decide you are going to live a satisfied life in every part of your life? Are you willing? Are you willing? I'd like to see your answers. Now, I'm expecting the answers to that question are rather simple, right? What am I expecting? I'm expecting all kinds of yes. There we go. Now they're starting to pull. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I am. You must be willing. Now, that's a great starting point. But you know something? As silly as that may sound, and as simple as that question may be, and the people that are watching this right now, not everybody's answering yes. Yes, I am. Oh, yes, for sure. Count me in. Definitely. Why? Why? Because they're thinking it might be work, or they're thinking something else. Who knows what they're thinking? But you must be willing. Now, are you able? Now, here's an interesting question. Are you able to live your life fulfilled? Now, I know what the answer is to all of you. The answer is the same for every single person. Are you able? And the answer is yes, you're able. Everyone is able. So once you make a decision, and decision is very important to success. Anyone that's ever accomplished anything in their life first decided that they were going to do so. You don't have to know how you're going to change your life. You don't have to know how you're going to get to a point of being prosperous or being perfectly healthy or attracting genuine love and having a wonderful, fulfilling relationship. But you have to decide. You absolutely must decide that that is something that you are going to have and experience in your life. And when you decide and you open up for the way will be revealed to you, provided you are feeling as if the ideal life, the fulfilled life is here now, right now, in this very moment. Now, can you do that? Can you use your imagination and imagine what it would be like to live a very satisfied life? Yes, of course you can use your imagination. Okay, do it now. Just think about your life. Okay, just imagine for a moment you're living a truly satisfied life, that you have fulfillment in every part of your life. That's important to you. Whatever is most important to you, relationships, health, the way you live, where you live, the kind of money you earn, the net worth that you have, the investments that you have, whatever it is, whatever it means to you. Maybe you'd like to be traveling the world. Maybe you'd like to do relief work or mission work, whatever that is. You can imagine it. And what a lot of people don't do is invest the time or the energy in utilizing their mental faculty called imagination. And imagination involves getting very clear pictures. And quite often, the most effective way to imagine is when the pictures are alive. In other words, you're seeing these things unfold in your life. You're putting yourself in the experience as if it's a movie that's playing, and you're feeling it in your heart. You're genuinely feeling that gratitude, that sense of joy that you're now living a fulfilled life. And there's no longer dissatisfaction. Now, does that mean that dissatisfaction is then gone from your life forever? No. Dissatisfaction comes as a natural response to wanting more. And as a human being, which we all are, unless there's some aliens who jumped on the call today, but as far as I know, we just have humans here. It's a very natural response to desire more. It does not mean you're not satisfied with what you have. That doesn't mean that at all. You can be very satisfied. You can feel very grateful for what you have. But you can reach a point where you're thinking, I'd like something else. I'd like to create more. That's a part of our evolution. It's part of the human experience. And it's natural. So if you were told as a child or when you were younger to stop daydreaming or stop, thinking that you could have that, or somebody in your life, perhaps a parental figure or a guardian, had attempted to squish your dreams, and that happened so many times that you just stopped dreaming or stopped going for it, understand that you can make a decision today that you are going to change your life for the better. You're going to change your life for the better, and you're going to begin at once. You're going to begin at once by choosing the kind of life that you would love to be living. And then you're going to determine what that looks like. What does that feel like? And then you're going to feel it every day. You're going to step into the role of the person who has already experienced that amazing life. And when you do, you will attract it into your life, because you don't have to know how you're going to get to where you want to go. You don't have to know how you're going to attract the money that you'd love to have in your life. You don't have to know how you're going to pay for that home that you would love to have. You don't have to know how. It's one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned. You do not have to know how, but you do have to feel as if it's in your life now, because that's how you manifest. You see, what all of us have is this moment. This moment. It will be gone in another moment. And then we'll be at another day, and then another day, and another day. And those days, this day, will be gone. So, what are you doing and how are you using your time? Are you using your time effectively to focus on and to imagine that you already have that which you desire? Most people aren't doing it. How do we know that? Results. Just look at the results. But the challenge comes because we're such habitual beings. But I'll tell you what made the difference for me. What really made the difference, because I came from a very miserable place. I was suicidal at one point in my life, had no will to living an amazing life, an incredible life, wonderful life, happily married. I have a beautiful family. I have great health, and I'm a millionaire, financially set for life. How did this girl who was raised in a very poor environment, in an abusive environment, who was miserable, who was suicidal, get to that point? If you imagine that there is a bridge that you cross, or there's a river and you want to get to the other side, you got to take action, right? You got to move. You got to do something to get to the other side. Now, what I know today, after being in the study for 43 and a half years and still in the study, can help you. I can help shave off years of time for you. You don't have to go through the struggle. You don't have to experience any more dissatisfaction. You can truly have a satisfied life now. So, what made the difference? One, I invested in myself. I recognized that what was required was to gather more knowledge to give me the understanding and then apply what I was learning. So I invested in myself and continue to. I still do to this day. I invest in programs. I'm constantly studying. I'm expanding my knowledge. I'm expanding my awareness because I know it will serve me. And it will not only serve me, it'll help me serve you. So you make a decision that you're going to positively make some changes in your life, or all kinds of changes. I decided to change every part of my life. And then you invest in yourself and you get involved in the study and you stay in the study. I study success every day, not once in a while, every single day. Every single day. Why? Because it expands the understanding. It allows you to have a different level of awareness. And it reminds you of the importance of being actively involved in the creations that you desire. And sometimes I'm studying things that I'm very aware of. I'm studying things that I'm teaching, and they are reminders. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, we all need a lesson in the obvious. And success may seem like it's very obvious to you, and that's fine, but are you implementing? Are you actually involved in activities every single day that create the essence, the feeling of having that which you desire? Because if not, you're not going to change. Nothing's going to change. Now, nothing stays the same either. Everything is constantly changing. But why people don't experience positive change in their life is because they wake up every day and they are involved in habits that are non-supportive of desires. They're involved in thinking of what they have in their life right now, feeling the emotional connection to that, dissatisfaction, and continue to create or recreate more of the same. That's not what you want. You don't want more of the same. You want more good. And it's your birthright. And the truth is, all these possibilities, everything that you desire is out there in the what's called quantum field, in the field of possibilities. Anything that you can think you can have, do, be, or experience, anything. Now, that may sound like a bold statement. I remember the first time I heard that, I thought, anything? Absolutely anything. Within the realms of nature, of course, but anything. So if you found yourself in a dissatisfied state, get excited, and then choose to do something about it. Choose to make some positive change and choose to do it today. Make a decision. You're going to invest in yourself. You can join one of our programs. You could join our Club Achieve, our daily study program. We're doing a free event on Friday called Ready to Take Control. It's 3 hours of free training. You're very, very welcome to join us. And I suggest you do. If you haven't already signed up for it, get signed up for it and join us on Friday. All right. Now we have a couple of questions that have come in, and Roddy has been very kindly collecting these questions for me to answer. So I'm going to go to the first question. There was one question that came in just prior to us starting. And okay, I'm going to get to that one first. Okay. And we are going to, it's a question from Vitali. Okay. Dear Peggy, if someone is negative towards others, let's say he, she is jealous, resentful, judgmental, could you explain how it will affect negatively his, her manifestation according to the law of vibration? Yes, everyone knows it's not good to have it, but how does it work according to the law of vibration? Okay, that's a great question. And let's just answer this in this simplistic way so that you have an understanding. If you think about your emotions, any emotion that feels good, and you think about, if you think about all your emotions, and we're going to use the dimmer switch analogy, okay? So if you're on the top side of this dimmer switch, you're in a feel good state. So if you're feeling happy, you're not sad. If you're feeling loving, you're not being hateful. If you're feeling worthy, you're not feeling deserving. If you're feeling confident, you're not feeling insecure. If you're feeling that you have faith, then you're not feeling in doubt. All right. So every emotion, every positive emotion has an opposite end, a negative emotion. Every negative emotion has a positive end. And there's varying degrees in the middle. So anytime, and this question talked about resentment, jealousy, what was it? Judgment, being judgmental, all destructive emotions. Anytime you are on the lower level, and that's why dissatisfaction can serve you to rise up your level. It can give you that awareness to rise up your level. You don't reside there. Do not stay in a dissatisfied state because that is a destructive state. So when you're in any of the lower level emotions, which quite simply means that it doesn't feel good because, anger, resentment, worry, guilt, disillusionment, they don't feel good, right? That's how you know. That's how you know what the negative emotions are. Anytime you're feeling in any of those emotions, you are destroying your dreams. You're canceling out all good. Now, it depends on what are the dominant emotions that you're choosing to feel throughout the day. And so you could be feeling good emotions, bad emotions, good emotions, negative emotions, positive emotions, negative emotions. You could be doing that all day long. What transpires in your life is going to be based on what are you giving the intense focus on. So if there's more intensity around the negative emotions, you're very likely attracting more negative into your life. If you're more on the side of positive emotions, then you're likely attracting, or you are attracting more positive into your life. So it doesn't mean that you're going to be feeling woohoo, happy every day, all day long, 24/7, although you could get to that point for sure, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. And I believe there's a process that you're going to go through while you recondition your way of being to a positive way of being, if that's not the way that you've been operating prior to this moment. Because you have to break old patterns, because emotions are habits. Feeling certain emotions, like there are certain people that are miserable, right? Grumpy, and they're in the habit of feeling that way. And they probably don't even know that they're in that habit, and they wake up and they're grumpy, and all day long they're grumpy. People call them grumpy. They buy them shirts that say grumpy or a hat that says grumpy, and they're grumpy. They're habitually grumpy. Can they change that? Can they become a happy person? Absolutely. Anyone can change it. Now, a happy person could go the other way. It works just as well the other way. But that's not what we're talking about. And it's certainly not what we deliver here at Dynamic Destinies. We show you the positive way. We show you how to turn that frown upside down, turn it into a smile, right? By making different choices, by utilizing switching techniques, asking yourself better questions, by choosing to shift your focus over to what you want instead of focusing on what you don't want, and breaking those old habits so that you create new habits. And rather than feeling dissatisfied, you're feeling grateful. What am I grateful for in my life right now? What can I choose to focus on that's a blessing in my life right now? Different way of thinking, different way of being, but you can absolutely do that. So how do those emotions affect and how do they work with the law of vibration? Every one of you is vibrating right now. You are attracting right now. Now, what you're attracting is based on how you're feeling. So if you're feeling resentful, you're going to attract experiences in your life that are a match for that emotion. If you're feeling angry, you're going to attract more experiences, or you're going to start to see things that cause you to continue to feel angry because you're in the habit of being angry. All right? So that's what occurs. You see, you're attracting at all times. That's what the law of vibration is. The law of vibration is based on emotional intensity. How are you feeling? What emotions are you expressing? You may not be saying anything, but they're coming out of you. They're coming out of you energetically, invisibly, and they're drawing back to you just like a magnet, like energy or like experiences. So anytime you find yourself in a negative or destructive emotion, change it, okay, as fast as humanly possible. And that really requires a dedication. It really requires a commitment, and you're very welcome. All right, thank you. All right, the next question is, I want to ask you something. I'm lucky enough to have been born in a wealthy family, but I feel guilty of my good life when I see people struggle. How can I get rid of this guilt? All right, that's an easy answer. And that is to find something to be grateful for. Find many things to be grateful for. Just live in an attitude with an attitude of gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for. Absolutely. Just focus on the good. Focus on what's positive. Focus on the blessings. There's many blessings. There are a lot of people who are raised in wealthy environments and are miserable, right? But there's more than enough to go around. We do live in an abundant world. I was raised in a poor environment with a poor family, and my parents struggled. It is what it is. I mean, that was a choice. Now, they didn't even know it was a choice. They just felt that was their lot in life, which a lot of people do. But every one of us, every single person has the opportunity to change their results. They do. But some people aren't even aware of that. And of course, even when they are aware, they don't do anything about it. And so that is what it is. You know what you can do? Help them. Help those that want to help themselves. Help those that want to help themselves. Help them understand what it feels like to be abundant, to live an abundant life, to live in opulence. Like some people say, they don't even know what that's like. Yes, you do. You can imagine it. And so what I would suggest is to focus on the positives. Be in an attitude of gratitude every single day. Focus on where are the blessings in your life? What can I be grateful for? Find ways to serve others as well. That is a very rewarding. That's what we do at Dynamic Destinies. I find that the career that we're involved in is the most rewarding career there is. Like, I never feel like I'm working. Yeah, I work and I put a lot of hours into my business, but I love it. It's like fuel. It's invigorating. And I love what we're doing here right now. I love helping you. I love sharing. I love your questions. I love answering your questions. I love knowing I've made a difference. I love receiving a message from Vitaly, who sent an email earlier. He was on a call that we did yesterday and asked the question, and I found something. I was thinking about him last night, and I found the information that he was looking for, and I sent it to Roddy to get it to him. I love knowing that we're making a difference in other people's lives and that we're contributing. So find a way to contribute, find a way to serve others in positive ways. It's incredibly rewarding and very fulfilling. Okay, our next question is, do I need to visualize my wish fulfilled or myself as a successful person I want to become? What is the difference? Same thing. It's not different. It's the same thing. You visualize yourself. So just imagine for a moment, and this is going to serve everyone. So I'm grateful that you're asking the question. So just imagine that you're living this fulfilled life that you desire to live, that everything in your life is the way you want it to be. Okay, you can imagine that, right? Okay, you know what that feels like? Okay, now feel it in your body that that's who you are. And as you get out of your chair, I'm assuming you're sitting, or as you take your next step, if you're walking, as you proceed, as you take the next step, as you walk forward, imagine that that is who you are. You are the person that has already created the results. Now, all of that is going on in your consciousness, right? It's residing within you. But as you're going about your day, you're thinking about, oh my goodness, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful that? And then you're feeling it and going, oh, feels so good. And you're imagining, right? You're imagining that you're doing the things that you would be doing were you to have the results that you would have in your life. You're imagining that you're sharing it with your family and your friends. You're imagining that you're, whatever it is for you, you use your imagination and you imagine you are that person, but you bring it forth every day. One of the things that we have in our skipping levels class in our program is a giant circle. Now, what I suggest to our members is to get that circle printed. Print it out. And it's a circle that says, I choose to live from my new home. What's the new home? It's a home in imagination. The new home is you living this extraordinary life. That's the new home. That's the version of you. And it has these little footprints right in the middle of it. And I have mine right beside the bed. So I have it there because this is what I see every morning when I get up and I put my feet down on the ground. This is the version of Peggy McColl who has already accomplished the success that she desires. And I walk like her, talk like her, feel like her, behave like her all day long. And then results get better and better and better. And even if you don't see the results right away, you must reside in the energy of knowing it's already done. It's going to take some time before it shows up in your life. All seeds have a gestation period. And your seeds are your seeds of thoughts. Your seeds are your goals. Your seeds are your desires, but you have to plant them. And you plant them by making a decision that this is going to be the way you're going to live your life. And no more. No more dissatisfaction. You've had enough already. It's time to make some changes in your life. It's time right now. That's what I did. I got to a point where it's like enough is enough. Enough of the struggle. Enough of living from paycheck to paycheck. Enough of wondering how the hell I'm going to pay for those bills. Enough of feeling lonely or sad. I got to a point where I just said enough is enough. And I became a very serious student. I studied every single day. I disciplined myself every single day. I wouldn't even think of operating any other way now because it's a habit and it takes time to develop the habit. But you must invest in yourself because if you don't, it's not that nothing's going to change. Things will change. Sometimes they get worse. And that is not what we want for you. So we're going to call it a wrap for today. We've gone beyond the 30 minutes, but we always love to give more. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you, Roddy, for running around gathering those questions for me. Make sure that you join us on Friday for Ready to Take Control. You can just go to readytotakecontrol.com, and it's a 3-hour live event. All right, 3 hours we're going to be with you, totally free. There's no excuse. Yes, we're going to record it if it doesn't work for you in the time frame. You're very welcome. You're very, very, very welcome. I love serving you guys. It is an absolute pleasure, and I know my team does too. So I want to thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday or perhaps in one of our programs. You can check us all out at peggymccall.com. All right. Thank you. All right. We'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.